Hi, I'm Leota Bauman. Most people call me Lee. I'm an artist. As 2021 began, I decided it would be really nice to find a project that would give me joy. You see, I had the good fortune to be able to illustrate a children's book in 2020. I worked with an author and watched her words come to life. It was a great process. I wasn't sure I could find something that interesting and fun and special again. But just a week later, I received an email from the Main Street Association of Auburn, Indiana. They were looking for regional artists for a downtown banner exhibit. I love Auburn. It's full of childhood memories, and it's where my dad lives now. It's the county seat for DeKalb County, where I grew up on our family farm, close to St. Joe. I spent a lot of time in Auburn because I was an active member of 4-H. I entered projects in art, photography, sewing, and even baking, earning ribbons and special awards at the fair. I thought that participating in this particular project to beautify the downtown area would be a good circle of life experience for me. But then, while I knew I had several paintings that would translate really well into a banner design, I looked them over and realized that absolutely I needed to come up with something completely new. So I decided it was time to create a piece of art that would honor my family, my dad, and the community where I grew up. This is a mixed media painting. It's a canvas painting that's a little different because I add items that create textures and patterns. For this work, I use stencils, stamps, printed images, patterns, handmade papers, and memorabilia. I chose an assortment of bits and pieces, items that had significance to our family. There's Bible scriptures, I added images that remind me of people in my life now, and then people who have passed. This process may look pretty random, and sometimes it is. Each piece that I put into the art has a memory attached to it. By design, I'm expressing my emotions, and I believe those feelings come through to the viewer. For instance, I chose a stencil that reminds me of shapes and images that my grandmothers made when they created doilies or tatted handkerchiefs. My mom loved butterflies. She decorated the house with them and often wore a butterfly in the jewelry, so the painting had to have butterflies in the meadow and the sky. I have a collection of printed papers that I store in a big woven crate. The ones that I chose to use for this piece include these beautiful marbled papers and some handmade orange fibers that I knew I needed to add because I remembered that my mom bought them for me to use in my art about 20 years ago. I am so glad I kept them. They're still colorful and bright, and they really are the perfect accent for all the blue and the green in the painting. You see, not only did my mom teach me about crafting and art, she was a big fan of my work. I'd like to tell you a little about the subjects of the painting. Let's start at the top. The white barn on the hill is basically the symbol of my dad's family, the Curie-Jarrett household. When you walk out the front door of the house where I grew up and turn to the west, that white dairy barn sits high up on the hill. It was on the other side of the field that has a big marshy area. For me, it was a great comfort to see my grandma's house on the hill. Every day when I walked out the front door to get on the school bus, I'd look down the road to see if my grandma was outside too. The man in the white hat is my dad, Harold Curie. He loved his John Deere tractor. and would be happy to tell you about how he bought it shortly before he was drafted into the Army to serve 3 years in Korea. When he returned from the war, I'm not sure whether he was more excited to see his family or his tractor. Oh, I'm pretty sure he missed his family more. The little boy in the painting is Tyler. He's one of the 3 great-grandsons of my dad. The painting was modeled after a photo that was taken in a summer when my dad took all of us on tractor rides. We had a great time fishing at his pond, too. If you want more information about my art, just visit my website at leebauman.com. You'll see an assortment of acrylic, watercolor, and mixed media paintings. I also enjoy illustrating and teaching art classes. And don't forget, if you're interested in having me create a keepsake for your family, just let me know.